So, freezer was really cold. Refrigerator was not. It was actually getting warmer and warmer. I don't know what really happened, but all of a sudden, I got a lot of ice inside my freezer. Motor's still running great, but this is kind of where I'm at right now. I took off the front shield. I actually took off the bolts for this screen, which will show my condenser in the back. But as you can see, this is the problem. There's this ice buildup that's preventing any cool air from making it into the refrigerator. So all I've been doing is taking a hair dryer and a washcloth, so it kind of soaking up the water as I go, and literally just melting the ice. It goes a lot faster. You know, you could defrost it and you can just let it sit for overnight or a day or something like that, and it'll defrost itself. It's actually pretty dang cold, even with the hair blower or the hair dryer. But this is what I'm up to. So I'm gonna get my refrigerator back up and running without buying a new one. And once you melt enough of that ice, you're able to pull the back panel off where the condenser is at. And you can see this is your problem. Trying to get the focus, just a block of ice. So I'm just gonna melt this, keep melting it with my hair dryer, slowly work its way. It actually takes a long time because it is such a dense just block of ice. Even with the blow dryer, it still takes some time. Like I said, you could just let it defrost on its own. I'm just speeding up the process so I can get it all put back together and back up and running. Just using a lot of washcloths, soaking it up as I go, trying not to get electrocuted. And then we'll keep on rolling. And then as you're going, without having to melt it all the way, you should be able to get it to kind of chunk off. I mean, this is just solid ice. And so if you're able to get on in there, get your finger in there without breaking too much stuff along the way. We'll probably need 2 hands for this, but pull out some of these bigger ice chunks without melting them. It'll save you time, plus it won't melt everywhere. So let's see if I can get this in here while still trying to film it. Give me 1 second. There we go. So yeah, it's just one big icicle. Chunk that. Got one on this side, one on this side, and then we're kind of defrosted fast. And so what probably ended up happening is it probably had a defrosting event. We actually lost some power during the hurricanes here earlier this year. Didn't quite lose everything, but probably the water sat, plugged it back in. All that water that defrosted ended up probably catching in this pan. Just started building ice. It got bigger, 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 closed up my holes to my refrigerator. And now come, mid-December, my refrigerator really started getting weak when it came to being cold. Freezer was doing great. So, because there's massive ice block in there. But just go ahead, dry out this drip pan as well as you can. I got all that ice out of there, got everything defrosted. Took less than an hour, to be honest with you, and I'll just slap all this back together, get it turned back on. Obviously, I have the refrigerator unplugged, but this is one of those refrigerator freezers where the freezer's on top, the fridge is on the bottom, nothing fancy. But again, these things actually last forever. Just got to take a little bit of care for them. And again, hey, this saved a service call, and pretty actually easy to do. I think there was 5 screws I took off, 2 for the ice machine that doesn't exist in here. If you do have one, just take off the ice machine as well. I have all the attachments for it, but just go ahead and then unscrew the back wall. I had to defrost the bottom section before I could even take off this back wall to get to the actual condenser in the back. But after that, easy peasy. And then I'll just do everything in reverse, slap it all back on, and then get her plugged back in. And before you go ahead and reattach your centerpiece that covers the fan, there is, like I didn't mention, there's 1 screw in here in the center that you had to pop out. But just make sure that this is clear ice, actually down in the styrofoam. I had to two good chunks, one in here and one in here still, that I just kind of didn't know were in there. Just popped them right out because they were pretty defrosted, but they were actually pretty good chunks in there. So just kind of double check this, make sure there isn't big blocks of ice still in here. Otherwise you'll have your same problem in a couple months, if not a couple weeks. And that's it, all back together. Little attachment up top. You'll see the 1 screw, 2 screws, 3rd screw at the top for the back wall. Then obviously you have your centerpiece. Pop this off to get to the screw, undo that. Then there's 2 more screws on that holding the back wall in place. But again, this is where all the ice had condensated, or not condensated, but had actually hardened. And boom, 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 go out. This is melted. Hopefully it'll be a couple years before I have to do this again. So give it a good cleaning before you put everything back in, and then close her up and get her back up and running, guys. But you know, honestly, less than an hour job with a hair dryer and the right tools. You don't need much, but you can also save yourself a ton of money, a ton of aggravation, and get that refrigerator back up and running.